Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel and welcome to another daily energy draw. Today is Wednesday, November 20th, 2019. It is the end of Mercury retrograde. Hallelujah. Can we all say thank you for going direct, Mercury? Holy cow, has it been a wild ride. I know that I wasn't the only one going through a lot of purging, especially in the Scorpio season, we've talked about this, a lot of purging happening, a lot of subconscious fears and blocks, even old fears and blocks coming up for almost like layers that were being drawn up to the surface for final release, final clearing. Wow, it was intense. But I think we can all breathe a sigh of relief. Actually, the energy has felt lighter over the past few days as we lead into Mercury going direct now. So here's hoping that it continues to lighten up and the energy it feels better. It does feel better. So, oh man, how was it for you? Was it tough for you guys? You got through it. So, pat yourselves on the back, give yourselves a giant hug and round of applause because you did it. You got through it, and it was a tough one. It was a really tough one. But, you have to go through the purges. You have to go through the healing. You have to dive down deep in order to clear what needs to be cleared so that you can ascend. So you can ascend into higher energy so that you can bring in more light activations. Because what they're actually telling me right now is if you have all of that, what I like to call soul sludge, then that's just blocking the light from flowing through you. That's just blocking the energy from flowing through you because that soul sludge is it's like sludge. All those fears, all that trauma, all that karma is just, really dense energy just that's blocking the flow of light that's moving through you. And so that's what you break up. That's what you clear. You bring it up to the surface, acknowledge it, clear it, heal it, bring it up to the surface so that you can let it go. And that's what this journey is really about. It's a healing journey. It's a journey of evolution. And that's what evolution is about. Evolution is healing. It's ascending. It's going higher, shifts in consciousness. And you can't have the shift in consciousness if you're still holding on to everything that keeps you in that dense energy, everything that draws you back, everything that draws you down. So speaking of healing, maybe that's no coincidence because they drew me to the Healing with the Angels cards today. So that's what we're going to be using for the daily energy draw. What's the date again? 20th. So this is November 20th, 2019. Remember to take the messages when they resonate for you. The timestamp is just a timestamp. Time is an illusion. So just like we are, time is ever evolving and shifting. So especially with timeline shifts that we're experiencing as well. So let's see what we have for today's message. What do we have for today's message, Spirit? What do you want us to know? These daily energy draws, you guys, for the past few weeks, if you haven't checked the ones out for November and even October, they've been incredible. They've been really diving deep into consciousness, really diving deep into evolution and ascension. So if you haven't watched all of them, go check out the playlist and see which ones you're drawn to, the titles that you're drawn to. There might be a message in there for you. Even if you already listened to it, see what you're drawn to because there might be another message in there for you that you're needing to hear. But they've really been incredible channeling. So I'm very, very grateful to Spirit for this. And I just got a rush of energy that just came through me. It was almost like it took me off guard and left me lightheaded just then. So that feels like acknowledgement from Spirit. Cool. It's been a while since I've channeled like this, so it feels good. It feels good to be back. Not back completely. I'm waiting until December for that, but because there's a lot of integration happening, but it feels good to be back in high vibrations again. I've spent a lot of November sleeping, a lot of November unwell, physically unwell, just kind of taking care of my body and myself, but it feels good to be back. All right, what do we have? We have forgiveness, and immediately they're pointing me to the green of the heart chakra. So just like we were talking about the soul sludge, if there is anywhere that you're still holding on to dense energy, and this is resentment, this is fear, this is hatred, this is loathing, this is self-loathing, this is self-worth issues. If there's anywhere that you're still holding on to past situations, this is the time to forgive. This is the time to let go. What they're actually telling me is moving into 2020, they want you to clear all of that. Shift into the higher timeline, they're saying. And you shift into a higher timeline by letting go of the past, forgiving yourself for the part that you've played, and forgiving other people for the part that they've played in whatever situation this is resonating with you. Whatever. Forgive. Come to this place of forgiveness within your heart, because when you forgive within your heart, that is where your soul expands. That is where the evolution and the shift in consciousness takes place. When you forgive, you have that activation, that light activation that opens up your heart to more and more love. And when you open up your heart to more and more love, you have that shift in perspective. You have that shift in consciousness. So come to that place of forgiveness within yourself and for others around you, so that you can move into that higher timeline, that higher vibration. Because anything where you are not forgiving yourself or others fully, I'll get to that in a second, fully, you're just keeping yourself trapped in dense energy. And a lot of that is mental entrapment. A lot of that is egoic construct. And that's what we're doing. We are relieving the ego, no longer needing that for survival, no longer needing that for protection, no longer needing that to guard our heart. We're in a time where we're learning how to open our hearts fully, to trust fully. And part of that is forgiving. Forgiving the past, forgiving the present, forgiving who you were, forgiving who you are, so that you can become who you're meant to be, who you truly want to be, who your soul is guiding you to be. Because your soul, your oversoul, your higher self knows who you want to be, who you're capable of. It's guiding you there. It's just your ego that keeps you trapped in, this is who I was, this is who I'm always going to be. No. Forgive that part of yourself, of who you were, because now it's the time to move forward. Now's the time to leave the past in the past and move forward. Allow the energy to flow through you, the energy of forgiveness, the energy of love, the energy of source to flow through you, because you are source energy itself. Now, a message is coming forth, and I've talked about this a lot on the channel as well. Ho'oponopono. I was introduced to that by a friend 2 years ago. A very, very powerful exercise of forgiveness. You can even do guided meditations if that helps you as well. But for me, it was journaling with the Ho'oponopono, I think I'm saying that right, exercise. It's, I'm sorry, I forgive you, thank you, I love you. 4 steps for forgiveness. I'm sorry, I forgive you, thank you for these lessons, I love you. Always ending with that love, always ending with that nurturing, loving energy. And I'm also hearing that this is some inner child as well, inner child work that you need to forgive as well. See yourself embracing the inner child. See yourself embracing your past self and loving your past self, forgiving your past self and others who are part of that childhood, who helped your inner child become who they were, whatever traumas there were, whatever karmic cycles there were, whatever lessons there were to be learned, forgiving that, because your child, your inner child, has a chance now to grow. So embrace that inner child healing, very prominent right now as well in this message. So forgiveness, open up your heart and come to this place of forgiving not only yourself but others, and loving yourself and others, so that your heart can expand and that you can flow into a higher vibration and a higher timeline. Cool. I'm actually, you know what, I'm getting called. I'm not going to end it quite yet. I want to read from the book. I don't do this very often, but I'm getting called to here. By drawing this card, oh, this is interesting. The card meaning itself. Let go of anger and resentment and feel yourself healed. You don't need to forgive the action, just the person, so that you can be at peace. And I feel like, especially for divine counterparts, and I've been saying this with my divine counterpart, I've been saying this with my clients, this is a very important distinction, especially with what you've experienced within your relationships. It's not excusing the behaviors, it's not excusing the actions, but it's always loving the person separate from the actions. Behavior can be changed. It's not that you're not accepting the other person, it's not that you're not loving the other person, but it's always about looking at the actions of the person. Is that the way you deserve to be treated? Is that displaying their full self? And if it's not, then that's when you can approach it. That's when you can communicate that. say, listen, I don't appreciate these actions. I don't appreciate these behaviors, but I still love you. It doesn't mean that I love you any less. It's just that I don't like these actions. I don't like these behaviors. You're not changing the person. You're just looking at the actions and saying, this is not suiting me. This is not suiting you. This is not suiting us. It's looking at, you don't need to forgive the action, just the person, so that you can be at peace. And whether you're actually communicating this to your divine counterpart or to another person, whether you're actually communicating this and expressing this verbally, or whether it's just energetically, forgiveness can happen both ways. You don't have to be in direct communication with that other person for this forgiveness and this healing work to take place. But it's really about, this feels like a separate message, but it feels like an important message to understand the difference between the actions and the person, that they are separate. The person does display the actions, and as they come more into alignment with themselves, as they ascend more, as they evolve more, their actions will more portray the person that they are. But it's about really recognizing that the actions are not the person, that the person is themselves. Okay, that feels like an important message, so some of you might resonate with that. By drawing this card, your angels guide you to release anger and irritation. They realize that you may be perfectly justified in feeling angry, yet they ask you to look at the high price you pay for being the vessel of anger. This is exactly what we were talking about. Exactly what we were talking about. Forgiveness does not mean what you did is okay to me. It's not accepting the action. It's not accepting or excusing the behavior. It simply means I am no longer willing to carry around pain in response to your actions. It's still about loving the person, still about forgiving the person. When we hold unforgiveness in our hearts, we only punish ourselves after all. Your angels will help you release unforgiveness if you will just ask for their assistance. It's what we were talking about. It's just what we were talking about. So the Ho'oponopono exercise. I'm sorry, I forgive you. Thank you, I love you. I'm sorry for any role that I played. I'm sorry for any feelings that you have that brought about this action, that brought about this behavior. I forgive you for the situation. Thank you for showing me this about myself. Thank you for helping me to heal. Thank you for helping me to learn. Thank you for helping me evolve, whatever it is. And always ending with, I love you. Because I see you as the person. I see you as the soul and not as the actions that you're portraying, not as the behaviors that you're portraying. I see you and I love you and I forgive you. That's this energy, and that is what opens up your heart. That's what lets the ego quiet and helps you come into this place of unconditional love, not just for yourself, but for others. It helps you bring peace and balance back into your life, and that then expands from your heart chakra and ripples out to affect other people. That is how powerful forgiveness is. Powerful and energy of healing forgiveness truly is. Beautiful. Amazing message. I'm telling you guys, these daily energy draws are incredible. So I'm really excited. We'll be back tomorrow with another daily energy draw. We'll be back with a reading sometime this week. So stay tuned for that. I'm sending you guys so much love, so much light, and we'll see you soon.